It is the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. We're here every single day from 5 to 6 talking about the local issues that matter to you most and taking your phone calls at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222, your emails at randykabc@gmail.com, and search for the KABC News Blitz wherever you get your podcasts. Well, one of the most wonderful things about living in a place like Southern California is there are a lot of outdoor activities, and for the majority of the year, the weather is pleasant enough where you can enjoy them. And one of the things that people love to do in Southern California is go hiking, whether that is at Griffith, whether that is at different trails in the San Fernando Valley or in Orange County. There are so many different places to go hiking. You know, one of my bigger regrets in life is moving out of Burbank, and it's because I did not fully appreciate how nice I had it in Burbank. Had to move out of that house, but we lived in walking distance to Wildwood Canyon and walking distance to downtown Burbank. It was a really good time. But of course, if you talk about hiking and you talk about Los Angeles, there's one place that probably gets mentioned more than any other, and that is Runyon Canyon, which to this day I've actually never been to. I've done Fryman, I've done Griffith a whole lot. I've done some of those trails south of Ventura Boulevard in the Tarzana area, but I've never been to Runyon Canyon. Still, it's a very, very popular trail. And it's also at the center of a very interesting debate because the locals that live near Runyon Canyon are quite upset at a new city plan. The city of Los Angeles is looking to build a bathroom at Runyon Canyon, and some people aren't too happy about it. Why would a bathroom cause so many problems for this very popular hiking trail? Let's start with the proposed cost. For more, here's a report from Fox 11 in Los Angeles.
Only on Fox 11 tonight, controversy on the Runyon Canyon Trail and plans for a new bathroom. Many residents voicing their frustration over the project, expected to cost the city around $1 million.
Wait, $1 million? What are we? I mean, I know San Francisco has $1 million bathroom or two, but really? It costs $1 million to build a toilet and some plumbing? That doesn't seem right.
Fox 11's Matthew Cedar live tonight to explain what the controversy is. Matthew?
Well, we're close to where that bathroom is supposed to be off Fuller Street. As you said, $1 million, and a lot of people here aren't happy about it. Controversy now swirling at one of LA's busiest.
Really? Story about bathrooms and toilets, and you have to say controversy swirling? I know what you did there.
Controversy now swirling at one of LA's busiest hiking trails.
A 2-stall bathroom with an exterior sink.
The city can.
Wait, it's only got 2 toilets? $500,000 per can? What?
The city considering building a new public bathroom near the Runyon Canyon Trail entrance with a price tag around $1 million.
Aside from the epic waste of money being spent on it, I think that it will just attract more of what we don't want.
Oh, what is it that you don't want that will be attracted by the bathrooms proposed for Runyon Canyon? Tell me more.
What we don't want.
A volunteer group called the Runyon Canyon Guardians has been looking into the project.
I called companies in Oregon.
They were quoted $500,000, half the price, for a similar bathroom.
Oh, but you don't understand how Los Angeles city contracts and no bid processes work. Somebody who's very well connected to the city of LA or Nithya Raman got that contract. Of course, it does not cost the contractor $1 million to build that bathroom. It costs them whatever it costs. And then the rest of the money, well, That's going to be fantastic. Or it's going to take them forever to build this bathroom that they stretch out the runtime so it does cost $1 million. We know how these projects work.
How does a city that's broke cut back our fire department, cut back our police department?
That's a really good point. Karen Bass just yesterday bragged about balancing the budget, and one of the ways we balanced the budget was by eliminating police overtime in exchange for more paid days off, which when you retire, you still have to get all that paid out in cash. And I don't know if that contributes to the pensions, but that might be a huge financial ticking time bomb that the city of LA hasn't thought about. Also, this means that you're going to have less police officers working because we're so short-staffed we need overtime. Regardless, we had to do all that, but we also had $1 million to throw at a couple of toilets and a sink.
How does a city that's broke cut back our fire department, cut back our police department, have $500,000 extra dollars to loot and launder?
Loot and launder. Good alliteration.
The suspected construction site a few hundred yards from current porta potties.
I've been living on this block for 50.
I don't even want to think about what those porta potties smell like. You have to get into a porta potty every once in a while in your life. Typically, it's when I go to Santa Barbara wine country and you go to some of those wineries that just don't have any bathrooms, like that little town of Los Olivos was planned in a way that the city takes forever to approve any new bathroom construction. So some of the wineries, your only option is a porta potty. But they try to maintain those. They try to keep those fairly clean. Again, that's in Santa Barbara wine country. In Los Olivos, a town with the population of, I'm going to say under 1,000. Let's see, Los Olivos, which is a beautiful place, by the way. The population of Los Olivos is 939. Okay, I got really close, and I was just guessing. But yes, there's a severe lack of toilets in Los Olivos. You go to places like Foxen at the Foxen Shack, and yeah, it's going to be a porta potty for you. But there's a world of difference between the porta potties in Los Olivos and the porta potties in Hollywood near Runyon Canyon.
I've been living on this block for 15 years. We've had low crime, no fires. Since those porta potties, we've had 7 fires and a heavy increase in crime.
Oh, that's an interesting correlation.
I don't feel safe here.
Well, let me hear what this guy said again, because here's a resident near the entrance to Runyon Canyon where this bathroom is being proposed.
I've been living on this block for 15 years. We've had low crime, no fires. Since those porta potties, we've had 7 fires and a heavy increase in crime.
So there used to be no porta potties, nowhere to go to the bathroom except for the bushes. And this kind of crime that we've been seeing at Runyon Canyon, and the amount of fires, including that nut that was trying to just start fires that got tackled by the linebacker, that all seemed to happen around the same time. And the city looks at all that and says, what we need is even better bathrooms to the tune of $1 million.
I've been living on this block for 15 years. We've had low crime, no fires. Since those porta potties, we've had 7 fires and a heavy increase in crime.
I don't feel safe here, and the fact that they can't answer any security questions is unforgivable.
Well, look who's your city council person. Nithya doesn't care about security for anybody because that's equity.
Unforgivable.
In January, the Sunset Fire scorched 60 acres across the park.
This guy just set that fire.
While Good Samaritans this summer stopped a man accused of starting this blaze.
Oh boy, and that guy claimed he was a fire marshal. It was all kinds of insanity. But yes, there has been a crazy homeless person just in the last few weeks who is trying to start fires in Runyon Canyon. Is that because there's a porta potty there? No. Of course you wouldn't say that. But do porta potties attract the wrong kind of crowd? Do public bathrooms attract the wrong kind of crowd? And we're not talking about cruising or anything. We're talking about drug addicts.
Blaze. One of at least 7 fires here so far this year.
I have empathy for the homeless people.
Do you? Most people, if you ask them to be honest, like ask them that question after they've had a couple of drinks, I don't think you're going to hear that from most people that have lived in this city that have had enough.
So far this year.
I have empathy for the homeless people. I wish we could bring them to a lower lying area. The problem is this is a brush.
A spokesperson for...
When did Runyon Canyon get overrun with homeless people? Well, I guess you look at this place. It's in the crux of a Hugo district and a Nithya district, two people that don't want to do anything about homelessness, and here you go.
A spokesperson for Councilmember Nithya Raman's office says the funding for this project is time limited and was based on input from the community.
I come just here every day, so it would be amazing to have a bathroom.
While LA Mayor Karen Bass's office says the Department of Recreation and Parks has received requests for years from hikers and park visitors for restrooms.
You know, every time I've ever been hiking, including some very nice hiking days at Griffith Park back when I wasn't working a whole lot and I was able to get there at 10 o'clock in the morning. You know, actually, when I worked the morning show at this station, it was pretty easy to, on your way back, go to Griffith Park, do a hike up there, especially day after a rain, and you can actually see the entire city. It's very nice. But I don't think I ever even considered that, oh, there needs to be a bathroom here. Like, you kind of take care of that before you know you're going to go walk around in the wilderness for an hour.
This is the kind of park where you go hiking for maybe an hour and a half, and you should be able to make do without the bathroom facilities.
And, you know, when an emergency arises, it's the woods. Do what the bears do.
Right now, it's unclear if and when construction could begin on that bathroom. Reporting live tonight, Matthew Seedorf, Fox 11 News.
So there is the controversy in Hollywood at Runyon Canyon. There are two main issues. One is the cost, which I don't think anybody's going to be arguing that that's a fair price for a bathroom, but that's what you get when you get no bid contracts in the city of Los Angeles. Does this developer, this contractor, have any connections to Nithya Raman who approved this project? I wonder. I wonder how we got to $1 million. But it's not even about that, because you know what? This city wastes a whole lot of money on a whole lot of different things. Got a budget of $15 billion. So $1 million on a couple of toilets isn't that big of a deal. I'm more concerned with the concerns that some of the neighbors have, including this guy.
I've been living on this block for 15 years. We've had low crime, no fires. Since those porta potties, we've had 7 fires and a heavy increase in crime.
The residents who live near Runyon Canyon allege that when the city brought in porta potties, that's when the homeless showed up to Runyon Canyon. That's when there were increases in drug activity, which also leads to increases in fires. But again, this is just a theory. But one of the ways that we're going to test that theory is by opening it up to the phones, opening up to you, the residents of Southern California. Do you think adding public bathrooms to hiking trails is going to attract more bums? 800-222-KABC. 1-800-222-5222. Do you think it is a good idea to build this $1 million bathroom outside of Runyon Canyon, or is this going to attract, as the residents say, the wrong crowd? 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. I'll tell you this, unless it is the direst of emergencies, even if I am walking around, I hold it. I try not to use a public bathroom unless I definitely, absolutely have to. Because you might spend $1 million to build that public toilet, but unless it has those features that public toilet in San Francisco has, where they're self-cleaning, that thing's going to become unusable in about 15 minutes after the ribbon cutting ceremony. My question to you, at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222 is this. Do you think this bathroom project in Runyon Canyon will attract more homeless people to the area? 800-222-KABC. 1-800-222-5222. Do you agree with what the residents of the Runyon Canyon area are saying?
I've been living on this block for 15 years. We've had low crime, no fires. Since those porta potties, we've had 7 fires and a heavy, heavy increase in crime.
800-222-KABC. 1-800-222-5222. Do you think building this bathroom in Runyon Canyon is going to attract more homeless? 800-222-KABC. 1-800-222-5222. Get on the line right now. I want to hear what you think about this, because if this goes through, it might be coming to a hiking trail near you. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. We're taking your phone calls at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Runyon Canyon is one of the most popular hiking trails in all of Los Angeles County, and the residents who live around there are up in arms because the city is about to spend $1 million to build a public bathroom with 2 toilets. Why are the residents so upset? Well, for one, they say it's insane that a public toilet costs $1 million, but also this.
I've been living on this block for 15 years. We've had low crime, no fires. Since those porta potties, we've had 7 fires and a heavy, heavy increase in crime.
The residents allege that ever since the city installed porta potties, it has led to an increase in crime, homelessness, and drug use and fires. Do you think building a $1 million public bathroom in Runyon Canyon is a good idea, or do you think this is going to lead to more people being in that area that shouldn't be? 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Let's start with Mark in San Diego. Mark, hello.
Hey, Randy. Yeah, this solution is decades old, and we have a public bathroom problem everywhere along the coast and in California. There should be clean restrooms, but they get taken over, as you know, and ruined. I was in France decades ago on the French Riviera in Nice, and there was a porta potty, but you had to pay money. Relatively speaking, it'd be like $5 or $10. And you only had like 10 or 15 minutes. The technology is there. I would rather wait in line 15 minutes and then have somebody clean it every week or so because it'll have an income stream. This is ridiculous that we cannot go to the bathroom in some of our finest beaches and apparently in some of our finest mountain hikes.
I think that's a really great idea. I'll tell you right now, that is something that would totally work, would solve the problem, and make sure those bathrooms are safe and clean to use. The problem is that doesn't fall under the lens of equity for the city of Los Angeles and those poor, unfortunate souls that have the same access to the bathrooms as you, the person who has a credit card.
Well, then just cancel it all. Don't build any. And buy your own little personal toilet.
There you go. That's a great idea. Thanks so much for the call, Mark. Appreciate it. Or, walk around with an empty Coke bottle. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. 1-800-222-5222. The residents around Runyon Canyon are very upset about the city of LA's plan to spend $1 million to build a public bathroom.
I've been living on this block for 15 years. We've had low crime, no fires. Since those porta potties, we've had 7 fires and a heavy, heavy increase in crime.
Do you think the city of LA should go ahead and build this public bathroom, or do you agree with the residents that this is just going to attract more crime, more drugs, more fires, and more homeless? 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. If you're on hold, stay on hold. We're getting right back to your calls next. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. It is the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. We're here every single day from 5 to 6 talking about the local issues that matter to you most and taking your phone calls at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222, your emails at randykabc@gmail.com, and search for the KABC News Blitz wherever you get your podcasts. We're taking your phone calls right now, 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. The city of Los Angeles wants to spend $1 million on a public bathroom with 2 toilets and a sink outside of Runyon Canyon. The locals are sticker shocked by the price, but even more than that, they believe any more bathroom infrastructure at this popular hiking trail is going to attract the wrong crowd.
I've been living on this block for 15 years. We've had low crime, no fires. Since those porta potties, we've had 7 fires and a heavy increase in crime.
Do you think the city of LA should go ahead and build this $1 million bathroom, or do you agree with the locals that porta potties and public bathrooms in parks attract more homeless people? 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Let's go to David in Anaheim. David, hello.
Hey, how you doing? You know, I can't believe they're that dumb that they don't understand that the public toilets attract the wrong people. Here in Anaheim, we have public toilets in our parks, but they're locked up because the homeless people invade them, so you can't even use them when we're in our own parks. But I don't understand why they can't think out of the box. Make it pretty simple. Most people have like their cell phones or they have access to a credit card that are legitimate people walking those canyons. Maybe just make it a pay toilet. They charge a nominal fee. They can either use their cell phone, what they carry with them all the time. I see them on the news, or use a credit card. Just pay. And I think that'll eliminate the majority of the problem, since those people are not going to spend a dime on using the toilet when they'd rather use it for something else.
I think that's the way to go with this. I think it's got to be a paid toilet. Maybe that helps fund a self-cleaning process or something, but you have to have controlled access. Unfortunately, that's not what the city of LA wants to do here. They don't care who uses it. They've got money to build this, and they don't care what attracts from this. They think that this is equity. Thanks so much for the call, David. Appreciate it. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. This is what the locals say happened after Runyon Canyon got porta potties.
I've been living on this block for 15 years. We've had low crime, no fires. Since those porta potties, we've had 7 fires and a heavy increase in crime.
Do you think adding a $1 million public bathroom to Runyon Canyon is going to attract more crime? 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Let's go to Doug in Orange. Doug, hello.
Hello. Yeah, I'm familiar with Runyon Canyon. I've been up there many times. And, a restroom, a legit restroom, is just 10 minutes down the hill. It's not like you're out in the desert. You can actually take a 10-minute drive, do your restroom stuff, and come right back if you have to. But I like the paid idea. I just can't ever see that happening, because then it's going to be a whole other situation where people are trying to scam the pay machine or steal any cash money that's in it. I don't know. But I think the porta potties can work. I wish you had somebody call in that represents the porta potty industry, because I work for a construction company. We go to all kinds of different sites. I probably see 5 or 6 different porta potties per week at different locations. All of them are clean. All of them are serviced. They have the little pen, doodle that says what time they came and checked it. So long as they're checked over, they can just get by doing porta potties. Imagine how cheap that is compared to $1 million toilet. And yes, the $1 million toilet is just going to get trashed just like the porta potty. So I think they should stick with the porta potties and make that work. Maybe more often visit it. It could work. I do like the idea of a paid toilet, but I just don't see anybody doing that. If that was successful, somebody would call in right now and say, yes, the paid toilets in Venice Beach work. The paid toilets in Huntington Beach work. But all those are nice toilets, especially Huntington Beach, but they're the steel kind. Even Newport Beach, they're the steel prison-type things, and the troughs are made of steel like a concert. And they're trashed. Huntington Beach's parking garage, there's maybe 3 that work out of 6 or maybe out of even 10. And these homeless people, they get in there and they just trash those restrooms somehow. They sleep in there at night. And you ought to check out the parking garage in Huntington Beach sometime and see how bad those restrooms are. So the porta potty companies stay on top of it. The legit cement brick and mortar ones, for some reason, the city just says, whatever, we'll check it next month.
Well, that's the thing. Obviously, porta potties work. Construction sites, everywhere you see them, they are there, and construction workers and contractors use them every single day. But when the city rents out a porta potty, they do not maintain it, they do not clean it, and it turns into a drug den overnight. Thanks so much for the call, Doug. Appreciate it. I'd love to go to Huntington Beach. I don't know if I want to go to the Huntington Beach public bathrooms in that parking structure. But if that's even happening in Huntington Beach, that'll tell you what's going to happen if they add this to Runyon Canyon.
I've been living on this block for 15 years. We've had low crime, no fires. Since those porta potties, we've had 7 fires and a heavy increase in crime.
That's what the locals are saying is happening at Runyon Canyon, and they believe it's only going to get worse if the city of LA spends $1 million on building a public toilet that's got 2 stalls. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Do you think the city of LA should go forward with this proposal, or should Nithya listen to her constituents for once? Let's go to Chris in Porter Ranch. Chris, hello.
Hey, Randy, how you doing?
Doing great.
Great. Hey, listen, the city of LA has a tendency to devalue communities. I mean, look at what they've done over the past years with homelesses, the RVs, the vendors on the streets, the open flames, everything. Did anybody ever think that the city of LA is doing this on purpose to devalue the canyon?
Well, why would they want to do that?
That's a good question. They've done it everywhere else.
You could argue if they're looking to devalue property rates, maybe it's so that a developer can buy that land for a song and put up a whole bunch of apartments. Maybe they're that Machiavellian, but I also happen to believe that this city is so incompetent that they wouldn't be smart enough to pull off a plan like that. Thanks so much for the call, Chris. Appreciate it. There's a typical rule of thumb when it comes to government, especially local government. And if you have to decide if these people are evil or incompetent, incompetent is going to win every single time. There can be corruption, and there usually is when we're talking about the Los Angeles City Council. But when it comes to these grand Machiavellian ideals that they're trying to destroy the city of Los Angeles for some socialist ideal, these people aren't smart enough to pull it off. 800-222-KABC is the phone number, 1-800-222-5222. Do you think a public bathroom in Runyon Canyon is going to attract more homeless, more crime, more drug addicts? The locals say yes.
I've been living on this block for 15 years. We've had low crime, no fires. Since those porta potties, we've had 7 fires and a heavy increase in crime.
800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. We're taking your phone calls at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Residents around Runyon Canyon don't like the idea of the city of LA spending $1 million on a public bathroom because they say already with the porta potties the city of LA installed there a few years ago, it hasn't gone well.
I've been living on this block for 15 years. We've had low crime, no fires. Since those porta potties, we've had 7 fires and a heavy increase in crime.
What do you think should happen here? 800-222-KABC. Let's go to Steve in LA. Steve, hello.
Hey, Randy, how's it going?
Doing great.
I think they should keep the porta potties because wasting $1 million on the restrooms, the homeless are just gonna destroy them, just like they destroy everything else. I think you said it once. LA can't have nothing good, nice, unfortunately.
We cannot have nice things. And the $1 million to build that is going to be nothing compared to how much it's going to cost to repair and fix and clean and maintain that bathroom. Or they just let it get destroyed on day one. Then what did we spend all that money for except a contractor had a really good payday?
And that money on something else, for solving the issue. That's what I think, Randy.
Wow.
Thanks for answering my calls today.
Hey, thanks so much for calling in, Steve. Appreciate it. Problem is, you're talking about Anithya Raman / Hugo Soto Martinez, part of LA, two members of the Democrat Socialists of America who don't understand why you don't want to live near a whole bunch of homeless people. Let's go to Michael in Santa Ana. Michael, hello.
Hi, Randy. I think they should have they should build it because it'll bring the crime and hopefully maybe people will wake up and start to vote Republican or at least more conservative.
Well, there definitely is that theory, but you look at how awful crime has been in just the last few years in Los Angeles. And what do you know? The people in the city of LA still overwhelmingly said Karen Bass was a better idea than Rick Caruso.
Well, I guess so, but who knows? We got to do something because California is an ungovernable state.
Thanks so much for the call, Michael. Appreciate it. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. 1-800-222-5222. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. Let's get back to the phones. Go to Stan in Orange. Stan, hello.
Hey, Mr. Wang. This kind of gloms onto what I just said earlier. I mean, I've been to Runyon Canyon. I've been up in that area, but fortunately, I live in Orange County. But people keep voting for these bonehead politicians that come up with this crazy stuff and spend your money like drunken Marxists. I mean, I'm assuming the Runyon Canyon area, I think it's pretty affluent out there, and I think they vote pretty liberal. So I can only assume that the people that are standing up and complaining about these $1 million bathrooms voted for the same people that are wanting to get it into effect. You got to do some due diligence, and you got to use your brain and think about voting for a candidate that what are they going to do with the local issues instead of voting for the candidate because you like his position or her position on abortion. I mean, it's just common sense to me, but that doesn't equate with some people, I guess.
Well, and to your point, this area had a chance last year. They saw what Nithya Raman was all about. She was up for election, and she won outright in the primary, didn't even have to go to a runoff. So you're right.
Well,
they could have had a change. They could have
go.
had a common sense guy, but they decided, no, let's keep going with the DSA candidate. Thanks so much for the call, Stan. Appreciate it. Let's go to Dave in Whittier. Dave, hello.
Yeah, Randy. First of all, I have some comments about the moral aspect of this. Look, people, you're going to reap what you sow. You got to change your morals. We're dealing with immoral people whose morals are in the tank, and what you reap is what you sow. Remember what's coming more, people, with this kind of thing. It's not just that. It's 6 cent a gallon gas tax they want to do, and it's more and more and more. Wake up, and the folks in that area, you got to get active, organize, and advertise this and oppose this and put flyers on people's doors. And, hey, people out there, what if your house burns down because of the homeless? Okay, you did it. You caused it. You could have prevented it.
Well, one thing you do got to give these neighbors credit for is they did bring this story to the attention of the local news. And now people are seeing what's going on in Runyon Canyon. The last time we saw what was going on in Runyon Canyon when the crazy homeless guy was trying to set it on fire. So the more attention we could bring to these nonsensical policies and, I don't know, $1 million bathroom, the more people can scratch their heads and say, wait a second, why are we spending $1 million on a public bathroom that's going to get destroyed by the homeless? Thanks so much for the call, Dave. Appreciate it. If you'd like to email us, you can do so at randykabc@gmail.com. The King of Burbank writes in and says, hey, many years ago, when they were just proposing the Chandler bike path, I attended a public meeting discussing amenities for the bike path, and the number one request from the neighbors was no public bathrooms on the path. As a lifelong local cyclist and walker, I thought a bathroom would be a good idea. The city and the public agreed it would draw homeless to the path. I didn't think it would back then. Now, I wholeheartedly agree it would. Yeah, that's what happens. And, the Chandler bike path, boy, does that bring back memories for me. Because I used to take that path all the time. I used to, there was a year in my life where I was really into cycling. And I would take the Chandler bike path from North Hollywood all the way to Balboa Park and go around. I would take the Chandler bike path to go from North Hollywood to my job at that time in Encino. When I moved to Burbank, I would use the Chandler bike path, and I would also use the LA River bike path. But here's the problem. I started to notice over the years, especially when we got to about 2014, 2015, 2016, especially that LA River bike path, how many people were living in the river. And it's one thing, you're going fast on your bike and you see that and you're like, boy, I better pedal faster. But you know what happened to me more than once? My tires popped on the LA River bike path because you know what happens when you have homeless people living in the river? You have a bunch of broken glass on the bike path that nobody is paying attention to, that nobody is going to clean up. And that is why I stopped biking in public in Los Angeles. I love the art of cycling. I have a Peloton. It is very fun. I really enjoy being on a bicycle, but the bike paths are not safe. I had a friend who got mugged on the Chandler bike path from a homeless person. And if you're not on the bike paths, you're on the streets with all the cars, and that's not safe either. So I do not advocate for bicycling in Los Angeles. And it's because of the fact that you build these beautiful bike paths. The Chandler bike path, the LA River bike path was always ugly. But because you don't maintain security and you allow the homeless to take over, they don't become safe, and then people don't use them. Thank you all so much for listening to this show, calling in with your thoughts and emailing us. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC.